Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about reality, awareness, wisdom, and becoming your best, infinite, most authentic version. So thank you for being here if you're watching. And today's video is going to be about identifying your current level of consciousness. At what level do you reside? At what level do you identify with? Be honest and evaluate who you are. Be honest and evaluate where you can be if you just recognize and do the work to become your highest version. So, I don't want to put the levels and numbers, level one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, because you literally have the ability to go from, let's say, for example, level one to level five, skipping all in between, and then going to level 10. You have the ability to adapt, to transform, to change, literally, within a very short span of time. And it all depends on your intention, your desire to become your best version. How bad do you want to evolve into that higher intelligent infinite being that you already are? It's literally just waiting to recognize itself. So it's definitely going to take your desire when it comes to analyzing your true nature, to figuring out and emerging into your higher self. So I'm going to tell you um, certain levels, right? The beginning, where the majority of people start, and how you slowly but surely, with your desire, with your will, right? And why you want this, how you start, kind of increasing and expanding into higher and higher and higher levels. But everyone starts from the bottom level, okay? Unless you were, born and came here on this earth with a specific purpose to start at a higher level, a spiritually inclined individual. But for the most part, the majority, the masses, start at the first level of consciousness. And I would say the majority state of consciousness is that of attachment to the physical world, very materialistic, and unaware that they have the ability to make the life of their dreams, to create the life of their dreams. So most people that you run into, they um, go through life as life just being this random play of events that will happen. Whatever happens, happens, and that's just life. And everything's about status and money. How much money do you have? If you have a lot of money, you're up here. If you have no money, you're down here. Poor, wealthy, that kind of thing. So, as most people reside in this consciousness, it's up to them to want to become this more intelligent version. So let's say through challenges, through obstacles in life, you begin to feel things more deeply. You begin to evolve. So then what happens? Now you start to experience personal development. You now realize that you need to transform yourself. You need to become better. You need to love more. You need to give more. So you start raising your levels of consciousness. You start turning inwards. And so you start to investigate. Who am I? What do I need to improve within myself? What are things that I must do to become a better person? What are my faults? What are my triggers? What emotional baggage do I need to heal? Right? So this is kind of like the trial and error aspect of consciousness. Where yes, you're increasing, you're already reaching new levels, but you're still very experimental when it comes to all the things that are happening within your life and how you identify with yourself inside and on the outside world. So moving on to, per se, the next level, for example, now you begin to play around with it. Now you know and you get a sense of who you are. You know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, and you know what you want out of life. Now you're beginning to build up the confidence of, yes, I'm a person that has power, that has worth, and has the capacity to create the life of his or her dreams. You see the transformation from the bottom, the beginning of being attached to the physical, to the material world, and then going through challenges, asking yourself, who am I? What do I need to improve? To then becoming this person that's playing around with all these things, that's learning to love themselves, that's actually starting to build your more intelligent and from a higher perspective, these new values, these new beliefs about who you can be. You start to go from victim to creator in your life. Now you start to say to yourself, yes, whatever I want, I can have. I can do it if I just work hard enough. Now you start to look for and search for different ways to achieve your goals. Now moving on to the next level, what you may be doing is now you actually know for a fact who you are, and now you have a code that you live by. So now, for example, anybody else do you run across the street, that you run into, from across the street or wherever you are in life, now you never steer away from those values. Now you have set in stone that this is who I am and this is where I'm going in life. You know your purpose. You've attempted and you've, for the most part, figured out your passion and your vision for this life. And now you're walking firmly. Yeah, you're jogging to accomplish these goals. Now, most people throughout their life don't even reach this stage of consciousness because they're stuck feeling like the victim and they're too afraid. And as you expand into higher levels of consciousness, I want you to know that the fear is going away more and more and more. You're becoming more whole with everything, with life, existence itself, with all other people you see, with God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. You're becoming one with all those things. So, moving on to the next one, now that you figured out your purpose and you're walking confidently in that direction, now this is when it gets interesting. Now you begin to give advice. You begin to want to give, no longer conditionally, but unconditionally, from a place of balance. Now you're actually seeking balance within yourself, and you're starting to realize that I'm not here on this world just for me, but that while accomplishing and fulfilling my own desires, I can actually assist other people. I can love other people. So as you start to recognize yourself within others as part of this existence, as a collective species, you are opening yourself up to that theme, service to others, being of service to the world, sort of a humanitarian ideal of who you can be that wasn't available to you at those lower levels of consciousness, but now that you've opened up, you've expanded, now you're starting to see a new light in the world. That you are not just you're not the only important thing. That everyone else is important. Lives that you can change, lives that you can impact in a positive way, so they can achieve their dreams. And this is where finally you start to realize that there's a spiritual side to your existence. You start to fall in love with life itself. You start to feel a connection to plants, to animals, to people's passions and problems. Whoa, how could I care about someone else's problems if I barely care about mine? Because you're expanding your consciousness. That's why before that didn't happen at those lower levels. But now at these expanded levels, after you've done the personal development, the work, that is when now you're building that spiritual connection, that unity between all things. So you're building that love, that connection to all living things, life, all of life, and all its counterparts. So now you're in this area of consciousness. And now you're ready for the next level. Now the next level includes you actually seeking mindfulness, seeking that spiritual side, asking yourself, what else is out there? Who is God? Who is the universe? Because you're feeling the connection with everything. So you may start to meditate. You may start to lead community. And now, energetically speaking, you're actually a positive presence among people that you encounter. Whoever you encounter in your life feels your presence, feels your energy, because you've accumulated all this experience and you've expanded and raised your state of consciousness. Now you're no longer a self, regular self. No, now you are a higher self. You're more in alignment with your true infinite version. Therefore, you are becoming an instrument for God, the universe, to play you, to flow through you while you walk this path of life. You're now becoming detached circumstantially to whatever is happening in your life, and you're just viewing things and lessons, how you can grow from this, how you can help this person. And now you might be leading people. You might be helping people. People see you as a leader. You are an inspiration to the world, to anybody that you encounter, because you're giving off that positivity. You're giving off that energy from a higher state of consciousness. So now, moving on and expanding even more, you start to connect with that side of yourself. You start to meditate more. You start to have more and more awakenings of who you really are. Therefore, you continuously, as you're rising through these levels of consciousness, you're basically just breaking the barriers that were, in between you and that infinite version. In a sense, you're becoming less and less human. Why? Because you're realizing your true nature. You're realizing that after falling in love and building the connection with all living things, that you are beyond just this one living body that you are in. That somehow, some way, after so many experiences and awakenings, that you are life itself. You are existence. You are everything. But from your current state, you might ask, how can that be? How can I be everything? Well, ask yourself honestly, are you at that level of consciousness? If not, it's okay. Because you have to have done the work and set the intention and had gone through one awakening, two awakenings, three awakenings, right? Very subtly, but through awareness and being aware of these stages and transformations that you're having, these rebirths, if you will allow you to acknowledge that that's exactly what happens. That you're now operating and functioning at a higher level of consciousness. Now, if this may sound a little too spiritual for you and a little too overwhelming to handle at your current state, that's okay. Just try to understand, right, and assimilate what I'm telling you. And to notice that it's basically a staircase. And that as you walk the walk, right, as you do the work and you set the intention out to live your best life and work on yourself, right, watching these videos or whatnot, gaining new knowledge, traveling the world, meeting people, falling in love, that this starts to naturally happen, naturally unfold in your life. And if you ask this, and if you want this, you will reach that place. So I don't know all the levels of consciousness that you might be in, but all I can tell you, and I'm going to stop at that last level, is that it just gets even more integrated after that. Remember, you're becoming more and more of your true infinite self. And I don't know about you, but being attached to this physical body does not encompass infinity. Okay? This is very third dimensional. And when I talk about infinite, that is very multidimensional and beyond. Okay? So you have to take steps, baby steps or leaps if you want, and if you have that desire to do so. So again, I want to emphasize, honestly ask yourself, what level of consciousness are you in? And that what can you do? Are you being too attached to the material world of source of society, status, money? Are you enjoying the little moments of who you are? Are you searching for a deeper meaning in life? Are you learning to love, not conditionally but unconditionally, to every person out there? Are you slowly but surely building that connection with other people, with other selves, seeing how you could help them, and how by helping them, that in turn helps you expand your love? What are the questions you're asking yourself? What are the thoughts that you're thinking? What are your beliefs? What are your biases that you're holding on to that may be blocking you and not allowing you to see the world this way? Is it religion? Is it politics? Is it your parents? Remember, as you do the personal development, it's like you're caring about your reality, yourself only. But then in turn, in this process, the more you learn about yourself, you learn about life. It's crazy because you would think that you're doing it for yourself, but in reality, since you're knowing your entire self, and by knowing your true self, it encompasses everything, then it's just like that's where you're going, either way. By going inside yourself and seeing who you are, analyzing, by using self inquiry, asking yourself questions: why I do this? Do I need to heal from this? Why am I fearful? Why did this happen? You are setting that intention and raising your levels of consciousness. And you're getting more in alignment with your true infinite self. Now, remember, at whatever level of consciousness that you're in, you're going to interpret what I'm saying in a different way. You might not even understand what I'm saying. You might think I'm talking crazy. Or you might actually feel it within your heart, feeling the truth that may be resonating with you at that deeper fundamental level. Because I've done the work to expand my consciousness so I can finally operate through that higher intelligence, through always, every single part of my day, seeking out to evolve into my highest version. No longer being so physically focused on, oh, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Oh my God, my past, it was so horrible. Oh my God, my future, what does my future hold? No, believing in the present now, enjoying all these little moments, the journey that therefore builds up that momentum, that energy, that love, that expansion, so I can figure out who I am, what's the truth of this life. So don't get mad at yourself and put your ego aside. And just because you might be maybe too focused on, status quo, politics and who you want people to see you as, that's okay. But now that you're watching this video, and now that you have a higher perspective on things, use it to your advantage. Are you living the life of others, for others, what people think of you? Or are you living your life because you love life and you want to be you? You want to be authentic. Remember, you're becoming your most authentic, best version. So ask yourself, is that authentic by you living by what other people think? Or should you live through your passion, speaking your truth, what you believe in, what you want in life? That is how you become the creator. That is how you know the truth of life itself. Those big questions: what is God? What is the universe? All that comes with the journey. But you have to start. So I hope this gave a little clarification on what it means to expand your consciousness, starting from the bottom, and now I'm here. Just, climbing that ladder and seeing how you progress as an individual, how you evolve. You're literally evolving. You're going from a three-dimensional, right? Very narrow-minded, animalistically minded. I don't know if that's even a word, but animal-minded person, right? That all cares about is urges, food, sleep, and what people think. To someone, and I guess something that involves all other things in life. Just imagine the highest possible state of consciousness so you guys can get an idea of this and really feel it, that you are operating from a perspective that encompasses everything, that you begin to feel what other people need in their life. You actually get to feel what they're going through, and that for some reason, through reaching in this higher self, this infinite intelligence, now you know what to say at the right time. You understand them compassionately. You know what they're going through, and therefore you give them the advice, accordingly. You tell them exactly what they need to hear so they can feel better. You know exactly what to do and say in every single circumstance because you are one with the universe, with God, with everything. Just think about that and think about where you are now and that you have the ability and the potential to get there because it's your potential just as it is mine. So put that ego aside. It doesn't matter what level you are now, you can reach that level with your intention, will, and desire. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I was really excited to make this video and to show you the process of evolving and what it means to evolve and how it feels to evolve. So thank you. I send you all love and light. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.